welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and I just took delivery of the new Wargames Atlantic Age of Chivalry Peasant box set. It was pre-order a couple of months ago now, I think, I want to say. So I placed an order because I thought they would be very useful for my Bruce's Ireland project mainly, but possibly for other medievals. And I thought, well, I've got it, let's have a look at it and paint up a sprue or two and show you what they look like. So yeah, the box has arrived. You can see it's usual sort of style of box that Wargames Atlantic send you with their plastic figures. They say they're suitable for the periods 1100 to 1350, and that there's 30 models in here, which is pretty brilliant for the money. How much did this cost me? So box set is £30, so basically £1 a figure, which is, for this day and age, is pretty good. Nice box art as always with these things. Says, to arms, the peasant levy can make up the bulk of an army during the time period, but rarely a decisive element in any battle. They were raised in three ways: as members of the lord's household, as mercenaries, or as levied from a town or countryside. Many of the men were armed, had some training, and came from upper peasantry. The tenant farmers would have at one time or another had prior experience of battle. So there you go. Some nice pictures of what the models look like. Let's just pop it open and have a look at what's in here. So I've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sprues. As often with Wargames Atlantic, a lot of variety. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lower bodies on this sprue. It looks like they're all interchangeable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's interesting? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So six bodies. And I'm guessing that you can swap and change pretty much any of them. It doesn't look like there's any particular guidelines on what to use where. I've got a lot of different heads. So these ones, these have sort of got hoods on them. These are more bareheaded. I don't know whether they show up terribly well in this. Yeah, so they're bareheaded. They've got hoods, or yeah, basically hoods. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you've got 12 different heads for 6 different bodies. Even I can do the maths. There's 2 possibles each time there. You've got bow options, 1, 2, 3, 4 bows. You've got some bills. That's a scythe, I think. It just looks like a club man. There's a guy with a sling arm there as well. There's some more bow there. Bow, and there's the arrow to go with it. Guy with a pitchfork by the look of it. Another scythe, dagger. Looks like another sling. There's an axe. There's a sheath of arrows there. Single arrow, which is kind of fun. Two-handed axe. You can see the other hand on this one, so it must be a two-handed jobby. Another sling, another axe. So you've got a bit of variety there. Plenty of variety in terms of what you could just build them as archers. So if you're looking to do, I know, some robbers, there's a sickle as well. I've just noticed, I missed that. So there's a sickle. So if you want to do some robbers, then that would be good. A few bowmen in there. You've also got various farmyard implements there, which is probably more realistically what these guys would have been armed with, as well as some slings and axes that they just would have picked up to go fight. None of them appear to have... Well, this guy down here, this arm down here, is a sort of padded... Looks like it's a padded armour. I can't see any others that look like they've got any quality of armour. which is interesting. So anyway, that's one. That looks to be exactly the same. And that one. Now that's different, so we'll move that one to a side, and that one's different. That's the same one again, and again. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your 30 men. 5 times 6 is 30, so there's your figures all sorted. And then there's some other options here, by the look of it, of weaponry. Ah, okay, so you can... Lots of spears. Now, spears in the medieval period were pretty basic tools of the trade, so you would use them for everything from hunting, also for war, obviously, but also there was a certain prestige about having a spear. It was a very much more common weapon than I think we take for granted. Swords were very expensive, so you didn't tend to have those. Certainly not peasants that these are designed. They've also got some bill down here, or halberds of various, I don't know, what pole arms of various descriptions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. That gives you 12 of those. If you wanted to turn them into billmen of some sort. Now I'm tempted to turn these into some troops for my War of the Roses project, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. I was originally thinking about doing this for... as I say, my earlier period for the Bruces in Ireland, which is my ongoing project. But I'm wondering, actually, to turn these into some sort of kind of levy troops for the War of the Roses, because that would be quite fun. You could use the bowmen and you could use the bill to do that. So maybe that's my option. I'll go here. Probably going to get more use out of them that way as well. Anyway, there you go. So you've got 2 sprues there. You've got 1, 2, I mean, a lot of spears there to use. And I think they're going to come up really nicely. So I'm going to start assembling some of these. I'll show you what they look like and then paint them up. See what they look like after that. Back in a bit. Right then, let's go and assemble one of these peasant figures. So I've taken off the sprue, a body. Now you don't get an awful lot of variety with them. There's a guy sort of standing astride, and then there's some sort of taking a stride forward, and the body types don't seem to change an awful lot. But because you can position them in slightly different ways on the torso and the legs, means you can get a bit of variety into it, which is kind of cool. So it makes up for the fact there isn't a huge amount. Now, because they are torso and torso and legs, you need to make sure you clean up the connection pretty well. But they sit pretty well, so as you can see, I can turn this around a bit to give them a different positioning. And that way you can get a little bit more variety into your figure. Head-wise, lots of varieties I showed you on the sprue, so I'm just going to stick one on here. They have a sort of socket, if you like. You can see here on the back of the head, which just slots on there nicely. And again, you can move this around a bit to some degree, get a little bit of variety in the pose. So that's your man. Now, I showed you the sprue already, but what I've discovered putting these all together is that there is a certain amount of coding. So I don't know whether you can see it here. This one's F1. So you need to find the corresponding F, which actually I've taken off the sprue on this one. It's up here. So to match it up. And that works right across the piece. Now, some of them, the sickle, where's that gone? Some of these arms down here don't have a matching one, so you can match them up with pretty much anything. But in reality, as long as these sort of arm types work, you can see some of them have got no sleeve at all. Others have got this one here, a bit of a sleeve. So you want to try and maximise and match those up. Now on that topic, it's slightly odd. So you can see these figures are mainly in the sort of almost peasant monkey type cloth sack thing. I don't know what you'd call them, but some of these arms and legs, some of these arms, pointing like this one here, that's a padded sleeve, and there's one here with armour. So I guess you could say they've rolled up their sleeves and what have you, and it's poking out the top of it, but it just seems slightly odd to have armoured tops of arms coming out from those sort of cassock-y type outfits. But, you know, that's just the way they are. Now, the other question I'm bound to get asked is, how do these compare with other figures? So I've got here, this is a Perry War of the Roses infantryman from the Bill and Bow box set. And you can see, let me stick his head on, and it's a fairer comparison for size. Oops. You unfortunately can't swap heads very easily. You could do, you'd have to trim a lot of the back of the Perry heads. If I put the two side by side, there's your Perry, there's the Wargames Atlantic. There's not a lot in it. They've got a very similar sort of stature, similar kind of body shape, should we say. And the other thing which does work really nicely is that you can, to some degree, swap arms on them between the two sets. So this is a Perry Bill unit. You can see again it's got the armoured sleeves. I could pop that on there onto our Wargames Atlantic guy, just like that. It works pretty well. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is because I'm trying to use a lot of these as bowmen, I'm going to use, this is Perry Bowman arms, and I'm going to stick them on our friend here, like that. That works, without any kind of amendments, any kind of green stuff or anything like that. Oops, it's moved a bit, but that's my fault, not the figures. There you go. Pretty good. That's a pretty snug fit. And that's just to prove the point. These are a pair of arms from the Wargames Atlantic box set, and I'm going to stick them on these Perry plastics. There you go. There's the Perry with the Wargames Atlantic arms on. So they are very interchangeable, which is pretty darn good. I'm really pleased, because there's an awful lot of extra arms and legs, which with these Wargames Atlantic figures you could swap in for the Perry ones and give you a little bit more variety. So there you go. I thought they'd be interested in that. So I'm going to undercoat all these and then paint a couple up and show you what they look like. And there we are. I've painted them all up. I'm quite happy with how they've come out. They were dead simple to paint up and pull together. As I showed, modelling wise, putting them together was easy as well, and the fact you can interchange arms very simply is great. Still not convinced about having so many figures with mail coming out from underneath their peasant garb. Also, there's a couple of, see this guy here, there's a couple of heads like this that look like some kind of ninja, but you don't have to use them, I guess. A couple of ones wearing steel helmets there, which is nice. So there you go, there's Billman. Here's some of the bowmen. Just move these out of the way, it's all right. A couple of bowmen here. I quite like this dude here. He's got just sort of peeking under his hood is a bit of helmet, which is great. Gives a bit of variety. Very nice. And just so you can see again the size comparison, so here are, oops, so you can see the size comparisons again. Here's Wargames Atlantic next to a Perry. Indeed, this has got Perry arms on it, and it fits okay. He looks a little bit buff, but actually not too bad at all. There's the guy with the sickle and the guy with the pitchfork. And let me show you one of the others over here. Yeah, now this one here on the end of the line is another one which I put Perry arms on a Wargames Atlantic figure, and you can see him beside an archer there. Looks pretty good, I think. So there you go, that's them all painted up and prepped. So I'm going to base them now, and I'll do a little show you what they look like all based up, and give you my thoughts. So there you go, that is the finished archers from the Peasant set. You can see in the front and also behind a couple of Perry figures for scale. You can also see at the back here, this is the Wargames Atlantic figure that I put Perry arms with, and I've continued that with a few figures interchanging arms, just to get a bit of variety really. And also what I've done with the I'm working on some Perry archers at the moment, and Wars of the Roses one, and I've been using some of the spare arms from the Peasant set just to give a bit of variety again in the poses. When you're doing loads of them, it gets a bit repetitive. Yeah, the basing material, the Vallejo mud, is still a bit wet, but these are, I'm going to call them done. Forgive the flag. I needed to put a flag there. I'm going to use these probably as just sort of freshly raised troops for my War of the Roses forces. So I put a Devon flag on there just to show that they're a county, shire, freshly raised unit. That flag probably didn't exist, I don't know. But anyway, the figures themselves, beautiful. Really, really, really good to paint. Assembling was easy, which for a fat-fingered fool like me is a major consideration. And I think they go together as a unit really, really well. Noticed that when I put them all together and tried to sort of keep some variety, I thought they had more options than they do, and there appeared to be quite a lot of them with their hands sort of out like they've just shot. But I think that's fine. As an overall effect, it works really well. And I'm really pleased. Painted up, for those who are interested, almost exclusively with contrast paints. Bit of a wash, bit of a highlight, bit of a dry brush with a sort of sandy colour, and jobs are good. And I'm very pleased with how these came out. The detail on them is really good, and they paint up really quickly, and I think the effect is quite good. So that's the archers, and here are the billmen. So again, you can see Perry figure there, Perry figure there. This is the Wargames Atlantic guy that I showed earlier that I'd put some Perry arms on, and I think they all match him really nicely indeed. This is a sort of halberd unit. Again, I'm going to use it as a freshly raised sort of county force, and yeah, or I may just mix them in with the archers to make them a bill and bow, kind of freshly raised bill and bow unit. I'm going to try and keep some flexibility with the ones I'm painted. But again, really nice figures, really pleased with how they've come up. Mainly painted like the archers with sort of dark browns and sort of off yellows and off whites and that sort of thing, just to sort of show that sort of peasanty look that I imagine they had. A couple of the Perry figures in there in both units, actually, just to sort of show sort of, I guess, sort of more wealthy guys who are leading the force of peasants or their comrades from the villages, and that was the idea with having a couple of the guys wearing halberds and what have you, or not, wearing the body armor and what have you, just to sort of show them off nicely. So yeah, really pleased with these figures. On the basis of this, I've ordered a couple more boxes, because as I say, I'm planning to use these for my War of the Roses forces moving forward as well, because I like them, and they're very quick to paint. So there you go. I hope you found this interesting and useful. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe and share and all that good internety stuff. If you're looking to, have you got a box of these already? Are you looking to buy them? If you have, let me know. Let me know what you think. Are you as enamoured as I am? I like them a lot. So, and I like the dismounted knights that I had as well, the men at arms that I had from them. So yeah, really impressed. So thanks very much to Wargames Atlantic, doing some amazing figures these days. And I'm definitely going to be buying some more of these. As I say, there's an order as we speak, waiting to be dealt with 2 more boxes of them on the way, so another 60 of them. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please, as I say, give it a like. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all again soon. This is Dom, signing out.